Now, everyone knows over the past sort of like few years, my big pet project, it hasn't been my own career, it's been get Carl famous.
Yeah.
I want people to recognise him in the street, come up to him and say, "You bald-headed mank twat."
Well, let me tell you now, Rick, I've been out and about, and a lot of people have come up to me and said, "It has Karl Pilkington got a head like a fucking orange?"
Well,
and I've had to instantly confirm the answer to be yes.
But he's had a call. He had a call recently from a film company asking him if he's got any ideas for movies. Now, how desperate, in what dire straits must the British film industry be that they're going, "We need Karl Pilkington. We have hit rock bottom." And he went along for an interview.
So what? And you went in and you...
I went along and had a meeting. And they just said, "Right, you know, got any ideas?" And sort of said, "You know, what are you thinking? What sort of thing are you after? You after action, thriller, whatever?"
Because you can provide anything.
I love that he's playing it cool, like you've come to the right person. My time's precious, what do you need?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm Karl Pilkington, the movie doctor, what do you need, Papa?
So, thought of this idea sort of on the spot.
Good.
That whiz by 'em. No, but sometimes that's how good ideas come up, don't they? Just
So a lot of yours have come up, yeah.
No, but if you just talk, I find that your mouth comes out with stuff.
Right, there's another quote.
Right.
There is another quote.
If you talk, your mouth comes out with
that to me stands along with what were those things in Gremlins called?
No, but what I mean, if you sit there and try and use your brain to do it,
right,
it doesn't work the same. Just keep talking. Just keep your mouth talking, and eventually it will come out with something pretty good.
That is exactly what Plato said.
So anyway,
Aristotle, he said, "Sit down, I've got an idea for you." Aristotle said, "Plato, how do I go?" Right, just keep talking, and eventually your brain will come out with stuff.
So what I thought, I just started off by saying like actors' names and that who I thought should be in it, because then that's giving more. It's building.
Right.
Okay,
So
who
who
did you say?
So I said, right, I'm seeing Clive Warren.
That's Clive Warren.
Who's Clive Warren?
The one who was in Closer.
Clive Owen.
Clive Owen.
Right, alright.
Did they look at you like you're a fucking idiot?
So they all started trying to figure out, who's this Clive Warren we've not heard about? He must be amazing. He's on
Clive Warren. Get me Clive Warren on the phone. Get me Clive Warren.
And I said Rebecca De Mornay, right?
What?
She hasn't been in a film for 15 years, has she?
Clive Warren and Rebecca De Mornay. They thought he was a genius. They've never thought of putting Clive Warren with Rebecca De Mornay.
But hang on a minute, you could have any film star. This is your fantasy casting, and you choose a bloke that doesn't exist and a woman who hasn't been on TV or in a film for 10 years.
Oh God!
Why didn't you choose, you know,
someone who existed,
or someone who's a big star?
Oh God! Clive Warren! Oh God! Oh
So
God.
anyway, starts off, and the people, you know, you're seeing into their lives from like the morning.
Yeah.
So it's like a nice sunny day.
Yeah.
Radio's on. You know, they're going about the day, they're having the breakfast, they're saying, "Oh, what we're doing tonight?" And you're thinking, "Oh, they've got a nice life."
Mm.
She's like, "Love you," and all that, yeah. He walks out the house, gets hit by a bus.
Oh.
So Clive Warren's dead.
I don't know if Clive Warren would take that part.
Because he ain't got much to do, has he?
No, I don't. If I know Clive Warren...
And I think you do.
I think I do. Carry on. So he's hit by a bus, so he's dead.
So he's hit by a bus and that. The titles come up.
Oh,
It's got you, right? She's
Starring
devastated. She's
Warren.
fed up. She's devastated and that. Doctor says Clive's dead.
Who's playing the Doctor? Jack Nicholson House.
Sort of. What's that fella who was in Independence Day?
Will Smythe.
No, the old black fella.
Morgan Freeman.
Yeah. Get him in.
Morgan
He's a
Freeman,
doctor.
yeah.
He says, "Your husband's dead." She's like, "Oh God." What happens then is, he says, "But listen, what we can do now, we can take the brain out."
Right.
Right.
And a fact that I'd read that day before the meeting, this isn't in the film now, this is me.
Right, but luckily
I read a
fact.
thing about how the brain can run on half of it. You've actually got a full brain,
Some
run it
of
on
us
half. So this was in my mind still.
Well, half your mind, yeah.
So I said, what happens is Morgan Freeman says, "Been working on this. You can run your life on half a brain."
Right.
She's sort of a bit like, "What are you telling me this for now? My husband's just died like 20 minutes ago."
Yeah.
And he goes, "Yeah, but if we're going to do this, we've got to act quick." She's like, "Do what?" He says, whilst his brain's not fully dead, because it stays awake for a bit when you.
Oh, he's not dead then. Fine.
No, but
Wait.
he is. But they found out that
Right.
it stays awake a little bit.
No.
So-
No, he's gone.
No,
Get
no.
hit by a bus.
Yeah, no, he's dead. If the brain's dead, you are dead.
Clive Warren's dead.
And if the brain's not dead, you're not dead.
No, but it's like people in a coma. They're dead, aren't they? But
No,
the brain's
no,
dead.
No, they're in a coma.
No,
They're
they're
in a
dead.
coma.
No, they come out of comas, don't
All
they?
right, then he's in a coma. He's been hit by the bus, but the chances are he's not going to come out of that coma. But his brain is still awake. So change that. That's easily done.
Hold on though. I like this fact that he's in a coma, so they're going, look, he's definitely going to die in this coma. Take the brain out now. Pop the brain out.
But why is that such a weird thing when that's what they do now? That's what they do now.
What is?
That's what they do.
What?
They do that.
What? A brain transplant?
No, but when, like, how I've signed that donor card,
Yeah.
like, if anything happens to me...
No.
they've
There's
got the
no
lot.
such thing as a brain donor. Oh, we've explained to you before.
Yeah, but they're working on it. They've said something about Einstein. They messed about with his brain for ages, trying to work out if it was full of stuff. That's what they're doing. They're working on that. There's loads of things that doctors are doing that we don't know about. I've seen some weird stuff on the internet.
Yeah, I know you have. Yeah.
I saw a programme on Channel 5 where a monkey brain was still alive and it was stuck on a stick. And they
You were
poked
watching
it.
the Magic Roundabout.
They poked it and it reacted.
Right.
So it's still alive. It's being kept alive, and it's only a matter of time. What's the brain linked up to? As long as you can link it up to the eyes, and somehow so it can tell the arms and legs what to do, you're laughing.
I love that. Imagine a team full of doctors going, well, we're going to try and do a brain transplant. Carl, as long as you can link this up to the eyes and tell the arms and legs what to do, we're laughing. Cheers, Carl. See you later.
Then what happens is they say, do you want half of his brain in your head?
Half of his brain in her head.
She says, definitely not. I'm having you struck off. She starts screaming. She calls the police. He gets
Yeah,
arrested.
but you'd have said that years ago when people can have, like, someone else's arm put on their body and stuff.
Yeah, but he's only in a coma.
Yeah.
No, but he's not going to come out of that coma.
Right.
So it's like this or nothing. It's
Right.
like, look, you know, what we're going to do here? We can either turn the switch off,
Yeah.
or we can put his head in your head.
But why would
But
you...
so
why...
what he does? So what they do then? They're going to take half his brain.
Half of his brain, take
Put
out half of hers, pop it in place
Why would she do that?
because she loves him.
But hold on. Well, no. Wait. What would she then be?
Because this is what I'm trying to tell you.
Okay. Sorry.
What happens is he explains all this. So I mean, this would probably cover about 20 minutes in the film, but I'm just rushing it.
I just
rushing
switched
it up
off,
now.
but yeah.
No, you wouldn't. This bit would have you. So what?
Well,
what
I'd have actually left when I wouldn't have even gone in to see a film starring Clive Warren and Rebecca De Mornay, unless it was 1985.
so the thing is, she's the same as you. She says the same thing. She goes, "Why would I do that, Doctor?" And he goes, "Well, what will happen is, he's gone, but you'll have his thoughts. So in the morning when you say, oh, I don't know what to have, well, I have cornflakes. His bit of the brain will sort of say,
Have a Weetabix.
have shredded wheat or
Yeah.
whatever." And she's like, oh yeah, good idea.
Sorry. So the point of this film is that the dead man can remind her what breakfast cereal she likes.
Yeah. So the thought. When
What do you
she-
mean? Yes. So that's it, is it?
No. That's not the only
Wait,
thing.
wait a minute. This is only Act One.
That's just the first bit. Everything's going well. She has it done.
So who is she? Is she herself?
She's Rebecca De Mornay.
Yeah.
But now
With
and again, with him chipping in with a bit of voiceover. So the idea is it's all going well at the beginning. And she's
So she can't decide what dress to wear.
She's had half of her brain taken out and put in a bin,
Yeah.
okay, and Clive Warren's half has been put in there. So now she's walking round, okay.
So
Yeah.
she's like a schizophrenic.
No, like I say, the brain is alive, so it's all going well when she leaves hospital.
Yeah.
And she gets a first taste of it, and it's a bit weird to get hold of because she's sort of. I think when she signs herself out, he's sort of fighting, writing his name and stuff. So there's a few sort of technical things that she has to get used to.
And does Clive's brain
What does
know
he
that
think?
he's now inside her brain?
Does that matter?
Well, I would say it matters because
Yes.
otherwise,
Yes, it does matter, Carl. What's he thinking? What's the point of this? Why has she gone along with this?
Because she really loves him.
But what's in it for him? What does she think?
Well, say if I died,
Yeah.
and Suzanne said, "Go on, I'll have half of Carl's," right? She would wake up in the morning to a thought of me sort of going, "Oh, you never guess what I've just thought about," or whatever. I'd still be there. The rest of your body is sort of waste, isn't it?
But Carl,
the rest of your body's sort of waste.
No, it is kind of. If when someone dies, it's
Yeah.
not that person anymore, is it? You can't have a chat with them. So if you could have someone's brain in your head when they're dead, you'd have it, wouldn't you?
What are you talking about? Why would I have someone's brain in my head when they're dead?
Well, what
I've
else?
got a perfectly good brain.
So you're telling me you wouldn't have it done then?
Of course I fucking wouldn't.
I can also categorically state I wouldn't either.
Yeah, but you're saying that now, but once you're in that position that someone who, you know, you love and that dies, if the doctor said, do you want it?
No!
And
I go, no! It's madness!
I don't think you
It's
will.
madness!
All right.
So, tell me a typical bit of dialogue.
Well, we've done the breakfast scene.
Yeah,
that was
okay, yeah.
dynamite.
Yeah.
That's fucking Oscar winning.
Yeah, can we do lunch?
There may be, like, at the funeral, because even though the brain's still alive, they still have the funeral, and you can have, like, a funny bit where they stood around the grave, and, like, there's some relation there who he doesn't like, and she can start laughing, and the family are looking at her going, why is she laughing?
Yeah.
And she's sort of laughing, and he's saying something a bit rude, going, look at her head. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Looks like a
Stuff on the
fucking
family.
Yeah.
Little cameo for you.
Yeah.
And so you have all that, and people are sort of liking the film, thinking, oh, it's quite funny, this.
Yeah.
And then you hit them hard.
It's the most ludicrous idea for film I've ever heard. It's the maddest. Honestly, it really is the ramblings of a mental case.
Right, I have to say though, I am hooked now. I want to know what's going to happen next in the story.
Then what happens is, she hears the voice go, Leslie, where are you? Something.
Right.
Her name's not Leslie.
No.
No.
She's thinking, who's Leslie?
Yeah.
So in her mind, she's going, who's Leslie? He's going, oh,
So he's thought, hang on, I've let something slip.
I've
here.
let something slip. So she's going, answer me.
Oh.
He goes quiet on her.
Oh.
So
He was having an affair.
this is the thing. So she's trying to hunt down
Leslie.
Leslie.
And he's got to stop her thinking it.
Then what happens is, I mean, you know.
Where your backs?
So he's got to hunt down Leslie.
So she's got to hunt down Leslie.
It's a woman, is it? Another Leslie, or
It's
is it a
another
bloke?
woman.
Right.
But what happens is, I mean, without ruining the end for everyone, what sort of happened is.
Oh yeah, because we don't want to ruin it for them, because this will be filling the multiplexes in no time.
No, it's the greatest love story ever told, set in a head.
But listen, let's just get to
hang
the
on a
end.
sec though, Carl. I don't. Yeah, you've got to tell us the end. I don't think you can let people
No, come on,
listening
come on, what's
hanging
the
on
end?
waiting for the film.
Just let your mouth talk.
Right, so what I said was, maybe what happens is, his brain is more powerful than hers.
Right. How is there power? Why is there no power involved?
What I mean is, her brain was running the rest of her body.
Now he's
His
taken
brain,
over.
that gets more powerful and overrules her body.
Okay.
Yeah.
She then fancies Leslie.
So it's a lesbian
hold on,
film.
this is building up to a lesbian love. So what the?
Well, it's
what?
trendy, isn't it, that? So just have a bit of that at the end, and
So hold on. So he overpowers her, so she is now a lesbian. What's Leslie getting out of this? Why does Leslie think, hold on, why is my
Because-
dead lover's wife coming on to me?
because this is what I'm saying to you, is relationships, it's the love of two brains.
Right, okay. Again, can anyone
the
out there, can we
strapline.
make that into it? That's a quote. The relationships is a love of two brains.
Well, it's-
now, he's got something there. He's got something there. But my point is this. Why is Leslie suddenly turned lesbian?
Because she loves the brain.
But does she know this is Clive Warren?
Rebecca will say something now and again, like, oh, I like me
Minge.
I like my food done like this or whatever, and it's all about Dave
I like
likes
my food cooked. Oh my, wait a minute, Clive Warren on this food cooked.
Yeah, I'm in two minds about this bacon.
Yeah,
What
I'm
I
going
mean
to turn
is,
into a lesbian.
people
Shredded wheat.
people like what they like, and it's the same way, like I've said to you before, with someone who's been going out with a woman, and then is found out that she's got a twin sister, and they divorce that first twin and go out with the other twin. It's all the same. You're after the same thing, aren't you?
Yes, but that...
When a cat dies, you buy another one. It's the same thing. You want that same.
Yeah, but you
love
don't
for
necessarily switch your sexual orientation. In the case of your twin scenario, they both look the same.
Yeah. Has there ever been one where it's twin boy and girl? Go, well, I was going out with her, but I mean, he looks a bit like her.
Yeah. I loved boobs, now I like cock.
This is your problem. You don't know anything. And this theory about if your mouth talks enough, the brain will kick in soon. It hasn't.
I've only been camping a few times, and each time I was glad when it was over. The last time was last year in Lyme Regis.
Yeah.
When did you go camping in Lyme Regis?
Last year. It's all right, Lyme Regis, but it was all a bit of a nightmare because I was going with my mate, and he said he knew someone who knew someone who had a bit of land in the garden.
We had a bit of land in the garden.
What's the point, though, innit? You know, what's the point of camping in someone's garden where there's a sort of like a spa down the road and like a pub?
No, because you're by the sea, aren't you? It's getting away from it all, seeing the world.
It's not if you're in someone's front garden.
No back.
Oh, sorry.
Well, there's even less to see except 3 fences.
No, but it's private, isn't it? So the thing is, he said, oh, it's a great garden, the owners are away, and there's a toilet, an outside toilet that they have
Getting
for, like,
away
when they
from
have
it all, innit?
parties
Yeah.
and stuff. So we get there, and this lad who knew about this bit of land,
Someone's back garden.
well, yeah, said, oh, you can't use it, they haven't gone on holiday.
So now you're stuck in the middle of a big civilised conurbation called Lyme Regis. How are you going to survive?
Well, we ended up just sort of keeping on the beach. But
Did you pitch your tent on the beach?
put the tent on the beach. We found somewhere where there was a load of rubbish, so we thought,
nice.
That's the place to go, yeah.
lovely.
No,
A
but
municipal tip.
What was it? Was it chemical waste or just like, you know...
no, just Coke
just
cans and
syringes
stuff.
and,
lovely.
But listen, though,
baby
you've got to
diapers,
think
sure.
about that.
Rusty, what's wrong with Rusty?
If there's rubbish there, it means it was a good place to camp,
Why?
Why?
because other people have camped there.
Right.
So that's how you've got to look at it. It's like, it's a way, that's like a little tip of...
So you could have slept in a
firstly-
public lavatory.
Yeah. This one's nice. What? It's covered in shit. Means other people have had a shit here.
Welcome to our 5-star hotel. You'll notice vomit over all the fucking walls.
So that means people have had a good time here. They got right pissed up and threw their lungs up.
So that's where we put down the tent. We put down the tent there. And then what was
Somebody put up
annoying
a
is...
tent, he puts down the tent.
We what's her name? We
It was already up. It
It was
carried
already
it all the way
carried it
from
all the way
London.
there. They went, let's pack it down.
the weird thing was, as soon as we set up, some other people turned up.
Oh, that's all the rubbish tip. Holiday makers,
They started setting up their tents. And I'm
Yeah.
like, oh.
No, look, there's some nappies over there.
Yeah.
Nearer the nappies.
And they offered us some sausages.
All right.
My mate said, oh, ignore them. That's like code for swingers.
What?
No!
What? So there were some people cooking some sausages,
Yeah.
saying, "Would you like a sausages? We've made too much." And you
It's
said,
just
"No,
that
that's
thing,
code
don't
for
talk
swinging."
to strangers. It's like we want to get away from it all.
Yeah.
We don't want someone, you know, it starts off with sausages, doesn't it? And then
So,
before you know it,
but what do these people look like?
they were about 45.
Who are they, there?
A man and a woman.
A man and a woman. So what was in it for the bloke?
Some people like that, don't they?
No, I
don't
mean,
know.
you say, right, I want the bald one, love. If it's like wife swapping, should one of you be a wife?
No, but I don't know all the rules and that. But
He's just got a real thing for fucking oranges.
and we didn't want any sausages anyway, so we just sort of
I
said,
don't believe sausages is a
Is a
code for
code for
swingers. Because eventually, how many times do they give someone sausages and they go, "Well, get your pants off," and they go, "Well, we just have some sausages." They go, "Oh, this isn't working, this code.
But
We
why
need
would
a better code."
Why would we be being offered sausages?
Because they're nice people and they're making sausages.
Makes you wonder.
We don't. Let's not trust these people. Let's move our tent nearer to the corpse.
So yeah, that was the camping.
September 30th. Going away with Suzanne's mum and dad. We're meeting them at Madeira Airport as they're flying in from Manchester. The plane was full and I had a headache. There was a baby sat behind us that was crying its eyes out for the whole flight. The mother of it said it was upset because its ears were hurting. So were mine. We went to try and find a supermarket. Suzanne's man was having a go at her dad because he didn't have a shirt on. She said he looks a mess and is embarrassed to be seen with him. It's their Ruby anniversary tomorrow.
That's why we went away.
Oh yeah.
Now, Carl, I know you're fascinated by the concept of the doppelganger, of seeing someone who looks exactly like you.
Yeah.
Jake has emailed in. He says, Carl, if you could spend a day with an exact replica of you, okay, so if somehow they've cloned you, Carl, and you've got him for one day, what would you do with this? What would you make him do? What conversation would you have with him? What would you do? Is there anything you could, how would you utilise him for one day?
Well, they'd both say I'm not bothered, and that'd be the end of conversation.
What would do me head in is, does he think the same way, look the same way,
Exactly
dress
the
the
same.
same? How would I know which one I was?
Because you'd be you.
That's amazing.
No, no, no.
How would I know which
That's
one I was?
incredible.
No, because-
that is the most stupid thing ever said by a human being. Can we get the Guinness Book of Records on this? Has anyone anywhere in the world said anything more stupid than "How would I know which one was me"?
But think about it. This other person's going, all right, thanks for meeting up and that. And I go, hang on a minute. No, you came to me. And then Suzanne would come home and she wouldn't know the difference. And then suddenly you'd start doubting yourself. And you'd go, should I be leaving? Or... So, how do I know if I am that real one, if he knows what I know?
But you know who you are because you're experiencing
But he'd
it.
be saying that because he'd say, yeah, it is a bit weird,
But
isn't it?
you know
Owen,
the truth, you idiot.
Because
How
you
would I
wouldn't-
know which one I was?
So anyway,
But bear in mind,
What would you do?
You could pass him off as yourself.
What would you do? Would you play tricks? Would you, you know...
You could be in 2 places at once.
Would you do stings? Would you do scams?
no, because it would only end up getting me into trouble, won't it? Because people won't believe that there's another one like me. Otherwise, everyone would be saying that when they get caught robbing. They go, oh, it wasn't me, it was my doppelganger. It can only... I wouldn't want it, to be honest. It's again, it's a bit of a headache, isn't it? Because he could be going off, going mental, causing all sorts of trouble, and you're going, well, you pack it in. And he's going, what? What are you on about? But then that wouldn't happen, would it? Because he's being me, so he'd be sat wherever I am anyway. Because he'd want to do what I want to do. So, pointless. But I still wouldn't want it.
It's unbelievable.
That was a conversation with himself.
That was amazing.
That was like experiencing what it would be like if there was 2 cars.
Yeah,
He's having a discussion with himself.
We could have left in that time and come back, and he'd be arguing still.
What does this mean? Does this mean... Does this mean, though, that I could just sit at home and not do anything and just send me out on...
Yes.
And when he's seen something happen, I'm seeing it.
No.
You're separate people.
You're separate people.
But then he's not a doppelganger then,
Well,
is he?
you're identical twins then. You found out identical twins and he's got exactly the same input as you. I mean, it's not a real question, is it? It's just a little... Again...
But I said to you the other week about twins and that, how I wouldn't like to have a twin. It's alright when you're a kid, but unless you're a Siamese twin, even they don't even look alike, do they? They're just stuck together. You don't go, oh, don't they look like each other? They have different haircuts. They don't carry that thing on, do they? That normal twins do. Like normal twins, the mums say have the same haircut, wear the same shirt. Siamese twins never look the same. They've just got their arse stuck together.
Again, it's a dialogue in his own head. It's unbelievable. Here's an interesting fact. If the frog annoyed you, this might annoy you. A blind chameleon will still change colour to match its surroundings. You're aware that the chameleon can...
Yeah, whatever it sits on.
Yeah.
But then what happens when you put one of them on a mirror? No, does it get stressed out or what? What's it copying?
Well, it probably doesn't need to copy anything because it looks at itself and it goes, oh, looks like that. It's brilliant. God, that was fast. That's the fastest I've ever done that. That is brilliant.
So they can go any colour. There's nothing. You can put them on anything. And they'll go to the thing.
I don't want you to have a chameleon because you'd just be trying to see what it could and couldn't
Try and
do.
catch it out.
I know, yeah.
Pop it on some tartan.
But
Yeah.
again, say like the frog thing, right?
Pop it on the telly.
Yeah.
Couldn't do it fast enough.
Why does the chameleon need that skill of copying a colour? Because at the end of the day, that's mainly sticking in the woods, isn't it? By trees, by grass.
Right.
Why can't it just stay green? That's all it needs. Those colour changes are only for camouflage, aren't they?
I don't know. Some of them are for attraction. Some of them to show moods, anger.
No, but I just think we're encouraging them. You see, maybe this is evolution or whatever, but at the end of the day, because they can change colour, they're wandering out of their area. They can be wandering about, through a car park and everything, just because they'll go, well, I don't want to get seen, change the colour of concrete. Whereas...
Or into the colour of a Fiat Punto.
But they should just stay green. Stay green, right? Stay in the woods and stay safe.
I love this public information for chameleons.
Words of advice for chameleons.
Oh, God.
Stay green, stay in the woods, stay safe, good night.
Oh, God. Right. The only time a turkey whistles is when it panics.
Christmas time then.
Yeah. What do you think of that, Carl?
It goes from one extreme to another, doesn't it? You've got a frog who's going mental,
It's not going mental.
killing thousands of people.
No, that's not.
That's got that sort of power. Then you've got a turkey who's whistling for help.
You think that you should redress the balance a little bit? You want to give... What would you do? Give the frog the ability to kill 500 and the turkey 500?
I don't think it should be killing... I reckon 10. 10, because...
You've made your point with 10, haven't you?
Do you think that he's got 1,000 in his lifetime, like he's got 1,000 to kill? I don't think you understand.
I just
He
think
doesn't really kill 1,000 people. It doesn't mean someone goes, Frog, you have the power to kill 1,000 people in your lifetime.
Choose them wisely.
But I just think if it needs that sort of power,
It should be fighting evil.
well, it's not. it's knocking about the wrong area, isn't it? If it's under that much danger, move. I was thinking the other day about, you know, your body and everything, because it is amazing, isn't it? How it works.
Oh, yeah.
Does the brain control you, or are you controlling the brain? I don't know if I'm in charge of mine.
Nor do I,
There's a surprise.
Nor do I,
No, do you know what I mean, though, by that?
Does the brain control you, or do
Well,
you
when
control the brain?
like, don't you ever sort of think sometimes? Say if you're making,
But
'cause
you
I
are
was
the
making,
brain.
No, but I was making a shopping list, right? Going right, I need some rice, kidney beans, and I thought I had everything, and I sort of was rolling up the paper, and then something went, oh, an onion.
Your
So
brain did
Something went an onion. Was it
No,
Suzanne?
well, my brain sort of went, you forgot something.
that? Yeah.
I didn't think I'd forgot. I was
No,
putting
you
that-
are your brain.
No, but don't you understand? My brain was I was in control of my brain when I was writing down rice and kidney beans.
But you're not in charge of the onion. That's another part of the brain that's in charge of the onion.
The onion sector.
No, but I put the paper away, putting my coat on, ready to go and get the rice.
Yes, but your onion lobe kicked in.
What, so you put the paper in your pocket, you got the coat on, then you just suddenly hear
Then
from
it
nowhere,
was just like
onion.
Yeah, I'm not even thinking about that shopping list. It's in my pocket. I'm thinking, do I need my gloves? It's cold out.
Yeah.
Suddenly, onion, and it was like, oh yeah, onion. Yeah, I had to get the paper out.
You
So
had
what
to
I'm
write that
saying
down.
is,
But
who's
there's
who's in charge?
The brain, the mind. The brain is the. What are you doing? Who's in
That's
charge?
just you forgot the onion, and then you remembered the onion. You must have forgotten things in the past.
No, but not like that. Not where, like, it just made me think that was weird. Who reminded me of that?
You did.
Yeah, but I'm not.
No, you are your brain. It's not like there's you, then there's a brain, then there's an extra one looking down at it. Oh, the meta brain, the thing above it.
No, but your brain. How does your brain work? You give it information, don't you?
Well, it takes.
Do you mean you give it information?
Well,
Well,
it's doing it,
if
isn't
I
it?
sat in a room with nothing, not feeding it anything, it wouldn't know anything.
No, but there's this thing
But
that there's
then-
two yous. It's this thing that there's
There's
this.
Carl and Carl's brain.
Yeah, there's not a duality in this. If you go, come on, now think. That's the brain saying that to itself. It's not. There's not two people in there having an argument. Come on, brain. And the brain's going, oh, don't you start, I was thinking then. And the other thing's going, brain, onion. And the brain goes, Carl, onion. You are your brain. If you are anything, you are your mind, your brain, your collection of memories, your personality. You're not what you look like. Does that answer your question, Carl? What do you think of then? You were thinking of a tortoise on a skateboard then when I said that last sentence, weren't you?
Not your own.
I'm not being funny though. So if you have a body transplant, right, and you're there, you're at home, naked, you look down,
Yeah.
lovely penis and a set of testicles,
Yeah.
right? What do you do with them?
What do you mean? What am I doing with them?
Well, do you like them?
Well, you wouldn't mess about with them as much as if they were your own.
But if you did mess about with them, would you feel guilty that you were messing about with another man's testicles and penis?
And it's the full body.
Yeah.
No, because they're not my hands either.
You're a genius! You're a fucking genius! So what you're doing is watching someone else wank.
Yeah. That's the ever-changing jingle for Carl's diary, excerpts of which we like to read each week. Walked through Covent Garden. There were 5 of them mimes knocking about. I don't understand why people take pictures of mimes. Everyone looks like a mime in a picture.
That's so true. That's really true. If the point is they're staying still, if that's their skill, a picture won't tell that story. That's absolutely true.
My dad took the cat to be put down today because it kept bumping into things since losing its sight. My mum said she's not going to get another one. She said the parrot is looking worried as it's seen the budgie and the cat go in the space of 3 months.
Your mum said the parrot's looking worried. What happened to the cat then?
It gets into a lot of fights. It lost one eye, and then it got into another fight and lost another.
Oh,
and it was just walking around bumping into stuff. I mean, the vet sort of said, oh, we can do stuff to keep it alive and all that, but it's a bit out of order, isn't it? Because it costs a fortune, they shouldn't tell you.
But
Mum and Dad can't afford to have eyes put on it and stuff.
no, you can't have eyes put on a cat anyway.
No, but they said, oh, we can do something here. We can have its eyes sorted out.
But I don't think you should be allowed cats.
Why?
Not the Pilkington family.
Why not? Well,
They
they have
keep
good
dying.
lives. Yeah, I know, but they have good lives whilst they're still knocking about. It's just that we get through them.
It's a good job you're not going to have kids.
Oh, God almighty. I can't believe it.
A mate sent me a story on email about a bloke in China who has this weird illness that means he can't have his picture taken. That's not the weird bit. If he tries, his body doesn't appear in the photo.
Don't talk shit.
He has had group pictures taken and everyone appeared apart from him.
Don't talk shit.
The
That's
story
bollocks.
had a picture next to it of a family photo and it said he was stood at the back, but you couldn't see him.
Right, he wasn't in the picture.
He was in the picture.
No, he wasn't in the picture.
We've done loads of tests and stuff.
No,
on him.
I haven't done loads of tests. This is bollocks. There's no way this is scientifically possible. What's his want? Yeah, now he's wanted. Just a white bit of paper up on the police wall. Have you seen this man? What man? If you see him, tell us. You're talking shit.
Spoke to Ricky about trips to the moon. He was up for going just to see what the world looks like. I came up with the idea of a giant mirror on the moon that would reflect the world back. He had a few questions, but I had the answers.
Yeah.
He changed the subject. I won.
Right. My first question was, how would you get it up there? He said bit by bit. That'd be a good mirror then, wouldn't it? I said, how big would it be? He went, you'd still need a telescope. I said, how would you get it on the right side of the moon, always facing the right? He went, what? He went, does the moon move then? I went, yes.
And if we don't like the mirror on the moon, we can always wallpaper over it. It's Suzanne's birthday tomorrow, so I've got to get her something. I sometimes think it would be best if we didn't celebrate birthdays. I think people would live a bit longer if they didn't know how old they were. Age puts restrictions on things. She said something about wanting one of them posh badges to put on her coat. I will look for one later.
I love the fact that around the time that you've got to buy Suzanne her birthday present, you think that birthday presents are a bad idea.
Got up early, it's Suzanne's birthday, gave her the card and present. She was well happy with her posh badge. She wore it to work. It's quite nice to hear a moment where she was actually happy for once in your company. They always say when you get someone a present, you should buy them something they wouldn't buy themselves. Daft rule. I want something I would buy myself if I had the money. When I was young, me Auntie Nora got me a present I wouldn't buy myself. It was a t-shirt with her face on.
We've been away filming in a sweltering London. We've had a heat wave here in the capital city, haven't we, Carl?
It's been hot, hasn't it?
Been up to 100 degrees, record-breaking temperatures.
Yeah.
What you been doing, though?
Getting to see the place, having loads of walks, and that. I like to have walks. You know, watching what
Like a
people are doing.
dog.
Yeah! When he jumps off the couch and starts
Exactly.
scratching against the door.
Suzanne thinks it's time.
It's just good thinking time, though, isn't it? As well, having a walk. You've got no other clutter going on around you. And you just think about a lot of stuff. And, you know, like you say, with the weather being hot and stuff, a lot of insects knocking about.
Right.
So I've just been watching them.
So while we've been filming, you've been watching insects.
Yeah, just seeing, because everybody knows insects are out there, but no one's keeping an eye on them.
What are they up to? What are you worried about?
Loads. Steve, you won't be laughing like that if you'd watch them, because they do some weird stuff and that. Is what I mean.
What sort of stuff? Any examples?
I saw a bee have a heart attack.
You saw a bee have a heart attack.
Yeah.
How were you sure it was a heart attack?
Because what happened? I'd been.
Did it clutch its chest with all 6 legs?
No,
Were there some other little bee paramedics?
No, I'd just been out in the park anyway, just looking at, you know, caterpillars knocking about. butterflies and stuff. So I was sort of aware.
So when Suzanne goes to work, she goes, Carl, don't you waste the day. I want you to do some constructive stuff.
But the thing is, so I'd been in the park and I was aware of the insects that are around us more than like most of the time. And I come out of the park, just crossing like a sort of a busy road and what have you, and I saw this bee to the right of me, sort of in the air, and it was a big one, and I was a bit like, oh, let's watch that. And it just fell. It fell from the air in front of me, and it was on the pavement. I thought, oh, what's going on here? And I looked at it for a bit, and it was really still. Gave it a little kick, just to see if there was any movement. Nothing. Stone sort of, what's the saying? Stone cold dead.
Yeah, stone cold be dead.
So
yeah,
that
I
was...
like the fact that this bee suddenly saw Carl and had a heart attack.
Yeah,
it'd never seen anything that round before. Yeah. It just thought it had approached him because he thought it was a sunflower.
My God, it's a giant walking orange. Every dream has come true.
No, but it just summed up life for me. I thought that's like us, isn't it? At the end of the day, they have heart attacks, stress.
You put it down to stress, do you?
Well, it's in London, isn't it? You know, everything has stresses from living here.
And they are bald, aren't they? They've got fur all over, but they lose the...
And always overweight.
It was a fat, bald bee. Oh.
So what did you... It fell to the floor and you instantly... You just kicked it. You didn't attempt to revive it.
No, I waited a second and just looked at it to see if there was any, you know, leg movement or wing. And there was nothing. And then when I sort of kicked it, it was sort of hard. It had hardened already. It's just...
Rigor mortis had
set in.
So it put you in a bad mood for the day? Because I know things like that can just send you over the edge for the day.
Death and that does a bit. Suzanne doesn't like me talking about death.
What riveting conversations do you come up with?
No, just things like one of our mates has had a baby recently, and I just was saying, oh, when that's sort of our age, we'll nearly be dead.
Think of that.
That's the first thing he says, is a new life brought into the world.
I know.
But when he's our age, we'll be dead.
Yeah.
No, it's
maybe
weird.
they'll let you do the speech at the christening.
Well, yeah, I've been watching loads of stuff. I've been watching ants. You mentioned ants. I've had a lot of moths in the house. They're sort of sad.
I mean, you say it like it was a garden party.
Yeah, well, but all I'm saying is I look at more about what its life is like. Because if you watch something long enough, is what I'm saying, you can see that it's a bit clueless. It's the same way about ants, or, you know, they're hard workers and all that. I watch one, it's going back and forth all the time. They go one way and then they stop and go the other way. They try to look busy in front of the mates. But if you watch one long enough, it's back and forwards, and it's like it's done nothing there.
I'm going to carry this twig back and forth until I can knock off at 4.
There's a lot of that going on.
Is there?
Because there's not. There's none of that going on.
There is. No, like I say, the moth. Depressing little sort of thing.
Why is it depressing?
It hasn't got eyes, has it? You just look at it, it doesn't know what's going on. I just don't... I think if you haven't got eyes, you shouldn't have wings.
That's a rule. If we can put that into practice, please.
That's a great rule. That's a fantastic rule, isn't it?
Yeah.
If you haven't got eyes, you shouldn't have wings.
You know, when you see them in films, they're running about and that, and everybody likes an octopus. But this one that's on the... It was your fault, really, because you told me about that frog that's going about killing people.
No, I didn't say that.
So I looked it up on the internet at, like, other creatures and stuff. And there's some octopus that's in the sea. And what it does, you don't even have to, like, threaten it. It just spits in the water. And if that stuff gets on you, does you in.
Again,
So in a way, it's good knowledge, because, I mean, I don't go in the sea anyway because it's full of stuff like that. But that's just reassured me that I'm doing the right thing. If they're knocking about, just gozzing everywhere, you don't even have to be near one. You don't even know if it's been spitting and stuff. It can kill you. It just seems unfair. I haven't harmed it. I haven't gone near it. Why is it getting annoyed with me? Doesn't seem right. So that's where a knowledge has not helped that octopus out. Because now, when you eat them, I just think, yeah, have another one. Do you know what I mean? Get rid of them.
Another conversation with himself. Another conversation with himself. Okay, Carl, I'm just going to throw an animal at you. Tell me how weird it is, what bits annoy you, how you'd change it. okay, a crab.
How would I change it?
Yeah. Does it annoy you? Do you think it's weird?
They are weird, but they're at that size where they can get away with it.
Yeah, it suits them. Okay, good.
Would it change anything? In a way, you know, what you're saying about things not working, he can't walk forwards. So why hasn't something happened? Why haven't they said, you know what, these arms are too clumsy. We need to have them so they can slot away easier, and we can pull them out when we need them, instead of clumping around with them. Because they do struggle. You see them struggling with their arms. Yet they're still here, they're still doing that, they're still designed that way.
What's the weirdest animal? So you think the octopus is the weirdest animal on Earth?
Yeah.
Why is it any weirder than a dog?
Because it couldn't be further away from us. A dog has got human eyes. If a jellyfish had a pair of eyes like ours, I probably wouldn't worry about him that much. But like I said to you, it's that way that they haven't got eyes, they're floating about. I can handle some fish. They look like they've got eyes. You can make eye-to-eye contact with them. A jellyfish, what are you looking at? It's a snidey thing, like I've said to you. You can see a lot in eyes. Do you know what I mean? They say, don't trust him. Why? It's his eyes. Jellyfish haven't even got any, and I don't trust them. In terms of design and everything, and if you lined everything up, say if I'd come from another planet, and everything was lined up in a row, and they said, right, we're going to give you a crash course in what's knocking about on this planet. Yeah. And you go, right, go on then. And you go, this is man, here's a woman, here's a dog, here's a cat, here's an octopus, here's a... I go, hang on a minute, what is this? Say if everything was at the same size as us, what would be the best thing to be? Say like a tarantula.
Yeah.
And a tiger. What would happen there?
So a 15-stone tiger versus a 15-stone tarantula?
Yeah.
Well, I imagine a 15-stone tarantula.
Right, so it's just weird, that, innit? It's a good job that they're small. Yet things are getting bigger because we're messing with the world.
But it's a ridiculous thing to say, isn't it? Because what would it eat? 15 stone. The biggest you'll find is like a foot-long beetle or something.
It's big though, isn't it?
Yeah, and that's about as big as they get.
He's
So I wouldn't worry about it.
Again, based on nothing, he queries you.
But it's like fish, isn't it? How they say about a goldfish.
Yeah.
That thing about a woman who went on holiday and stuck it in a bath. She came back, it was 7 foot.
Right, that didn't happen.
No, that's a well-known thing about
goldfish. No, it's not a well-known thing.
What?
I'll tell you why. Because a fish will only grow to its surroundings anyway. So...
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
You have to put it in a bigger tank.
Yeah, in a bath.
No, a 7-foot fish in a bath. It just fit the bath exactly, did it?
When she got back off holiday...
Don't talk shit. What was it eating? What was it eating?
How long was she gone for? 2 million years?
Yeah. She went to Mars and back.
Ted, you're not going to believe this. Come up here.
Well, how many fish do you see that have naturally died? It's always been caught by a man or a shark's at it. You don't just see dead fish washed up, do you?
Well, most things that don't die of old age.
Yeah, that's weird though, isn't it?
Well, no, because it's a... You know, it's a jungle out there.
No, worse than the sea. The sea is like full of... you've got an enemy around every rock.
I love it! I love it! I love it's like a warning to crabs
Exactly.
and young squid. It's like the policeman that comes into your school.
Yeah. Carl, have you ever seen the programme Inside the Actors Studio?
No.
James Lipton interviews famous actors and gets words of advice about, how they work and how they act. But at the end, he always asks a series of questions, which is based on a French series of questions that a guy called Bruno Pivot used to give people when he interviewed them. So I'm going to ask you some of these questions. Just interesting to see what your response is. And, answer them quickly. You don't have to think about them too much. What is your favourite curse word?
I don't think I've got one. Knobhead. That sums everything up, and I think it's...
But you wouldn't call your nan a knobhead, would you? What would you call a nan?
Well, knobhead's all right, isn't it? Because she sort of gets it. It's one of them things that everybody understands, but it's not too offensive.
Right.
What a knobhead.
What would you do, though, if you were swimming, right? It was a nice little thing, you're on holiday, right? And there's this octopus there, and you're going around, right? And you just see it start spitting at you. Poison. What would you say to it?
Well, it's too late then, isn't it? And I'd kick it. And I'd say, knobhead. I would... but what's the point? What's the point in getting annoyed now? Because it's done its stuff, hasn't it?
I don't know, you'd kick it and call it a knobhead under the water. What is this octopus thinking? Oh, God. Oh, I'd go, you fucking eight-legged shit.
I'm not bothered. I don't know what you're saying.
Fucking cunt of a mollusk.
I'll just spit at you again. It's not bothered.
You slimy little fucking boneless wanker.
This is why the face
Are you
is
still
good.
talking to the octopus? That jingle, of course, signifies another reading from Karl Pilkington's diary. We went to the park and had a brew. Suzanne read the paper while I played with a ladybird. I mean, it's like a child, isn't it? It's like what a child would do.
Suzanne read the paper while I played with the ladybird. His only friend is a beetle.
It climbed up my arm. It struggled on me hairs.
This is in detail, then.
Yeah. It kept stopping every now and then and was rubbing its head with its right arm. It did it about 4 times and always used its right arm. It rested for about 5 minutes, then flew off. Sunday. Had a bit of a to-do with Suzanne because she wanted a lion today. I ate this. Once you're awake, you should get up. I got up and put the radio on really loud. She eventually got up. I told her insects don't have lions, so we shouldn't.
Why are you obsessed with insects?
You must be fucking unbearable to live with. You must be a nightmare.
No, I've just started, because I've watched insects a lot. I don't want to keep going on about them because we're a bit insect heavy. But at the end of the day, if we copied insects, we wouldn't go far wrong.
I don't know what you mean, though. 1 minute you're saying they're great, then the next minute you'll slag them off.
Yeah, I'll slag some of them off if I don't know what they're doing, but because I've studied them a bit longer, I just think they do it
You haven't
right.
studied them, though.
He thinks he's like Darwin.
But you just slagged them off when you go, no, you think that insects are doing stuff, they're not. It
Yeah,
goes there, then
ants.
it goes back again.
The ant was messing about, but only that one. The others were carrying stuff. That's what I'm saying. These snidey ones in everything. In everything in the world, you get a hierarchy.
Oh, long words!
Ooh. Some new sea thing has been found.
That's the headlines on the news.
It wasn't found by sea experts, it was found on eBay. Someone was selling it for a £5. I don't see the point in buying something that you don't know what it is.
What do you mean? What do you mean? It was...
Someone's found some sort of shell with a thing living in it.
Right.
They thought, oh, I've never seen one of these before, I can flog it on eBay. Someone bought it and then wanted to look after it, went to some sea expert and they said, oh, I don't know what that is. That's the story. It's just weird how stuff's being found on eBay.
No, it wasn't found on eBay, though, was it?
Yeah, but that's where the specialist people sort of picked up on it. It's just weird that... I mean, all I was saying is I wouldn't want one. If you don't know how to... If it's a new creature, you don't know what makes it happy. When you get a kitten, you go, stroke its head, loves it, right? And you can do that knowing that it's liking it. If I had a little seashell and you go, does it sit in water? I don't know. Do you know what I mean? You could end up doing more damage. So that's why I wouldn't want it. It's nice to have rules in it. It's nice to know what you're doing with something.
Well, as you write in the diary, it's like if an alien landed and wanted to live with you. As much fun as it might sound, it wouldn't be long before you got annoyed with it because it wouldn't eat the food you gave it.
That's what I'm saying, but I couldn't have a go at it because it might not like pasta.
It might not.
Everyone likes pasta.
Wow.
Woke up to some interesting news. It's good when this happens because it sets me up for the day ahead. If it's miserable news, it affects my day. It said on the news that they have found 2 new flies.
Fucking hell, more insects! What have you done? Is that all you've done this summer?
Bong. Trouble in the Middle East. Bong. 2 new flies found.
Ladybird climbs up arm.
They were found in the UK and they were found close to each other. maybe this happened because they were different than the other flies and weren't expected to hang about together, so that's why they knocked about with each other.
That would happen, wouldn't it?
What do you mean?
There's 2 new flies.
What do you mean? Does it mean there are 2 new flies that are a different species?
Yeah, 2 new species, and they found them close to each other, right?
Yeah,
and
but they didn't mean there was one of each.
No. Yeah, they did. They found 2 different ones.
No,
they have. Seriously, I know that. That's right. That's a fact. So you've got, like, I don't know the names of them. They give them odd names, don't they? Well, say call it A and Fly B, right?
Yeah.
Fly A, I don't know. Say that's orange.
This is just...
B.
Fly B, yeah.
No,
This is painful.
No, but
This
I'm
is
just making it
painful.
easier
But
for
Fly B
you.
wears a little hat. He's got a little hat.
Right, yeah, fine. Now, they found the orange one. I went, look at this over there. This is a bit weird. And they've gone, oh, that's a new species. Log it, whatever. And then the other one went, oh, keep your pen handy. Look at this one, it's got a hat on. So then they found them both within the same distance.
I don't know what that sentence means.
Keep going.
They
No,
found
let him
them
try and
both.
finish.
They found them both within the same distance.
But without interrupting him, let him finish this point.
Let me just make one thing clear. Karl Pilkington just said they found them both within the same distance. Think of that!
Don't know what it means, but go on, let him finish this point.
So what I mean is, they weren't knocking about with other normal houseflies because they were probably sort of going, oh, he's a bit weird. Leave it. Yet, because the other one was also odd, they're hanging about with each other. Don't you understand that? Why is that such an odd concept?
Because you think of it as like 2 little new kids in school.
Yeah.
They find out they're both new and they've got something in common.
They're both goths, so they start hanging out together.
Yeah.
And this was on the news, was it?
Yeah, just on the radio, yeah.
I know if I looked into that story, it would be 90% wrong.
Bit tired today because didn't get to sleep as early as I wanted due to a moth getting in the bedroom.
Fuck me!
I got it in a glass and looked at it for a bit and then let it go because Suzanne wanted to go to sleep. Looked up some interesting news. Some people dug up an old body in Ireland. Turns out it's well old and was here when dinosaurs were here. The really weird bit is it had hair gel in its hair.
Right, what is it?
A fella.
Well, no, it wasn't around when dinosaurs were here then.
Just a bit after.
Right, fine. A lot after, yeah, go on.
It's not the age bit, that's amazing. It's the fact of, there's a fella, won't have even had shoes on his feet,
Right.
and yet he was worried about his hairstyle.
Right, well, that's definitely not true either.
There was a man on the radio doing poetry, says Karl in his diary. I thought I'd have a go at doing a poem about today.
Not really. Steve, I'm a little bit queasy. He hasn't really written a poem.
He's written a small poem.
No, he hasn't really.
Yes. If moths had eyes...
Fuck me!
Let me read the poem, okay?
Oh, fuck.
He wouldn't interrupt T.S. Eliot.
Okay. Oh, okay.
If moths had eyes, would they be happier? How do they know they're not dead? Cavemen hunting for food, but not before they style the hair on their head. What would last longer in dinosaur times? A blind man didn't stand a chance. Not with all them rocks about. I'd rather be a blind moth.
Right, it may be the greatest poem ever written.
Is there a creative decision for that?
Can we have Karl read that?
By all
Sorry,
means, yeah.
just you read it as you would like to. So this is, imagine this, right? Okay, this is going out all over the world. And now, Karl Pilkington, a new poet from Manchester, now living in London, England, would like to read a poem.
If moths had eyes, would they be happier? How do they know they're not dead? Cavemen hunting for food, but not before they style the hair on their head. What would last longer in dinosaur times? A blind man didn't stand a chance. Not with all them rocks about. I'd rather be a blind moth.
He said it as though the last bit was going to rhyme. He said it like it was going to rhyme. Oh, God.
No,
I
It's
think
amazing.
But I think
Karl.
he feels as though the final line, I'd rather be a blind moth, is going to be one of those great You know, there's a summation that somehow the moth is a metaphor. The caveman.
No, but
there's
all
no
I'm doing-
metaphor in that. He really does mean he'd rather be a blind moth.
Yeah, well, I'm just because I've looked at the day's news.
Are you getting into poetry now, properly?
I really like it, yeah. Right, I did 2 about jellyfish.
Excellent.
I don't like jellyfish. They're not a fish, they're just a blob. They don't have eyes, fins or scales like a cod. They float about blind, stinging people in the seas. And no one eats jellyfish with chips and mushy peas. Get rid of them. And then there's just a shorter one I did about a jellyfish. It would be spiteful to put jellyfish in a trifle.
Yeah, it certainly would.
So,
That's great. That's really good. Because it's jelly. He's done us there, Steve.
Yeah.
That's a really good poem. Can we always do that, Carl? Can we always find a day, right, and always sum it up in your thoughts, a poem, just like that? It would be spiteful to put jellyfish in a trifle.
yeah.
What's been going on? What's been going on?
I've been to hospital. I was rushed to hospital, right, emergency and that. Had a tube put on my knob.
You had a tube put up your knob?
Yeah.
What's the story?
Kidney stones.
Ooh.
So, shouldn't really be here, to be honest, doing this. He said rest and that. Climbing them stairs on the way in.
To be quite honest, it doesn't look like you're expending a lot of energy at the moment. It's like at Zookeeper going, oh, that sloth move today. Calm down.
Yeah, but I had to get here. It's been raining. I
Yeah,
had to come up the stairs. I had to carry the computer.
yeah.
Well, that's not entirely true because your girlfriend was carrying it. I saw her outside.
Yeah, but I'm just saying.
And then you handed it to me and said, "Steve, carry this." So
Almighty.
Yeah, I know.
that's already a lie.
Christ almighty. Whinging.
Not whinging.
I'm in show business. I know loads of people that wake up every day with a sore knob, feeling like they've had their kidneys probed, and they would say they were unconscious. So they don't whinge about it. They get straight back onto it. They, a lot of them are on TV now.
Yeah, straight back to hosting game shows.
So you're rushed to hospital.
So take us through the events because it does sound quite dramatic. You started feeling a bit of pain, did you initially?
Felt a bit of pain, and I thought, yeah, maybe I just pulled a muscle or something when I've been wrestling with Ricky and that, because you don't know what damage has been done. So I just think, it'll go in a minute, and then it didn't. It got a bit badder.
It got badder, did it?
So then I
Got a bit
thought,
badder.
I was crippled. I was lying on the floor in agony, looking on the internet, looking for sort of
Still looking at
solutions.
Monkey News.
No. I just put in like bellyache and stuff, and they were saying me loads of different things. And what I used to do when I was a kid, I used to always just get a cold ashtray and put that on my belly, and the coldness used to get rid of the badness.
Amazing.
The coldness got
It's like a witch doctor.
yeah.
This is like
A witch doctor happens to work in a pub.
it's like some sort of 5th century remedy
Yeah.
written in mud. Coldness doth get away with the badness.
Why specifically an ashtray?
Just because they sort of old cold.
They're old cold.
I don't know what this is. I love this idea that he had the operation and he comes round and they're talking to him and his girlfriend gets a phone call and they say, Mr. Pilkington's maybe complications. He's just talking rubbish. She goes, oh, good.
Yeah, he's back to his old self. Why specifically an ashtray? Sorry, because it's old cold. I understand it's old cold.
Yeah, we understand. Everyone who's done a medical degree understands old cold, but old cold belly badness. If you want to buy that book, Old Cold Belly Badness, it's the history of abdominal surgery by Karl Pilkington.
No, it just
But you put it in the freezer or something first?
you can do if you want, but they're normally cold anyway. They're sort of thick glass and that it holds the cold. But we don't smoke in our house, so I had to use a plate.
Oh, well, that's madness. A plate's not going to work. Famously, a plate doesn't work.
No! Oh,
So you put a plate on your belly, but that didn't do any.
That didn't work. So called Suzanne and said, "Oh, I'm in agony here." She said, "Go to the doctors then."
Good advice.
So
A lot of people have done that straight away, as opposed to going through the plate ashtray.
So he went to hospital, and he went to hospital and he said, "Have you got an ashtray?"
They went, no, especially an ashtray.
This is no smoking.